Looking at INVO here for a nice bounce play. It could do it. It was a top runner a couple days ago, running from 5 all the way up to 12. You guys know me. I like to keep eyes on stocks days after it makes a big move for those rubber band plays. I call it the rubber band play. It's just a basic bounce play. You have big runners like INVO right here. The next following days, you want to see that daily chart pull back and have red candles. And then 3-4 days later, you get a nice bounce to the upside. We've seen it with EYES a few times. See the big move right here, consolidated, gapped up, and then pulled back. And as it's been pulling back, it's been getting little good bounce opportunities. Yesterday, we had a good $2 run. It sold off and bottomed out here right around 10.50. I mean, just look at that. Let the morning sell off like it did. Bottomed out right at 10.50. Nice $2 push all the way up to 13 bucks from 10.50. Patience pays. And then we fast forward. Right out of the open, right just below that $10. We know that a $10 is a big psychological level. Gears up right here. Faces out, forms a wedge, gets up, rips all the way up to 11, pulls back down to the VWAP, and it's holding all where it was topping out right here. And from 10.50 again, all the way up to almost 12, pulls back, old resistance is holding as support, gears up, pushes up to almost $13, 12.60s it pushes up to. So from 9.80s all the way up to 12.60s, that's just about a $3 move to the upside. It's all about how you look at these charts, break them down. Beautiful opportunities here on EYES. So keeping an eye on INVO for pretty much the similar thing. Big move to the upside. It's been pulling back like a rubber band. Or it pulls back and pulls back and pulls back. It builds up that tension. And then when that tension starts to break, you get those good snaps to the upside. All right, what else we got going on? We had ENTX this morning. Look at that. Nothing going on the previous days all right here. Zoom in, gets a nice gap up this morning. And this morning, we were doing research before the market opens. You always want to try to prepare yourself for the upcoming day. Pre-market, I'm not trading. I'm doing research. I'm digging into these SEC filings. I'm looking up key statistics. What's the float? What's the average true range? The average volume? What's the catalyst? Why is this up? Is there news out? So this morning, we pull it up. We were talking about ENTX. Every morning, if you're a member in the chat, all you got to do is sign up for either the Discord chat room or the day trading masterclass. You get access to the everyday chat room. We're in here every day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, working together as a community and a team. Every morning, pre-market, before the market even opens, I give you guys a watch list of all the stocks that I am interested in. So we scroll up to this morning, pre-market. I'm going to Flash SEC, and I'm going through all of these SEC filings. Do they have active registrations? Any active shelves? Do they have cash? What's their burn rate? Are they desperate for cash? So ENTX, see if I can find it. We're talking about NDFY. They had a $60 million active shelf. And look what happened to ENVY or NVFY. Pretty much did nothing. And then ENTX. This is what ENTX had. They had 100 million shares hidden at the market, 14 million right there. Then they had shares outstanding float, remaining shelf value, almost 20 million shares. They also had active registrations, dilution, shares outstanding, starting value, remaining value. Looks like they had just over 4 million shares of that left. So keeping that in mind before the market opens, that ENTX has these active registrations that they can dump at any time. So always keeping that in mind. And then NV, that's a weird ticker symbol. NVFY. Look at that. Gaps up, trap people, market opens, just straight dilution all day. All the way from 750s down to $4. So that's I call that Flash SEC. It's not going to make you money, it's going to save you money. So every morning pre-market, we're in there developing game plans, checking to see if these stocks are safe to trade. Anybody calls out a ticker, I'll look it up real quick. I'll say it's either good to go or stay far away from it. Keeping that in mind on that one stock. Was it? These stocks have weird ticker symbols. ENTX. Had a good run this morning from $4 up to almost $8. But then after that run, just a sick sell off and decay. They're just unloading and getting rid of all of their stuff. You want to try to keep an eye on also how much volume it has on the day. ENTX has 326 million in volume. That's a lot. 326 million in volume. We pull back over this. They have 100 million in active shelf. They have 20 million active right there. 4 million right there. So they're dumping it, but the volume is there to eat it all up. It's definitely still in play, I would say. 325 million in volume isn't something to shake a stick at. KOKD. It may. It's near that $10. It's under VWAP though. It failed 2 times to hold over that $10. See, it failed right here, and right here. Couldn't hold up above it, and now it can't even hold up above VWAP. So that's not really showing strength. If anything, I'd want to see it push up over that $10, hold $10, and move up from there. Not test $10, just barely peek over it, and then come down to VWAP, and then can't even hold VWAP. There's a lot of selling going on there. Remember, VWAP, volume weighted average price. All right, just to show you guys real quick. This is what I traded today. This morning, I tried trading CCIV. I failed. I took a loss to start the day, negative 1,400. Then ENTX popped up. I made almost 8K, 8,000 on ENTX. EYES, $1,000. And then KOSS had a good pop this morning. I was able to lock in 2,500 on that. And I currently have a little position on INVO for a potential pop up to $6. That one's down right now, but total on the day, I'm up just over 9,000. Here's my trade so far on INVO. Giving it room to breathe. If it falls down below 530, I'll cut it. I think this has potential to pop up to 6, even 650 even from this level right here. It's setting up pretty nice. The rubber band play. It was in play 2 days ago. It's been pulling back and gearing up. I think this level here, it's starting to level out. And we could see a nice little ramp on it. Just like EYES. KOSS this morning. Beautiful little wedge right here. Beautiful wedge. See how it poked up out of that wedge. And then it pulled back down and was holding that wedge as support. And you also have the VWAP right there. Right at 2750. Got a nice little pop up to almost 2850. A nice dollar pop. I jumped in with 5K shares. Got in on the bid. Sat on the ask. Cost is a bit tricky. We all know if you watch costs, it likes to rip up and then wick down real fast, whip back up. If you're using market orders, it's just going to eat you up alive. So sitting on the ask, being patient, keeping an eye on GameStop, because whatever GameStop does, cost is sure to follow. GameStop this morning right here, right when it was holding up at this 250 level, I told the chat we could have a nice push up to $300 and test that level. We had a good push up to 280s. So right off VWAP, nice push. And it's still lingering around as we speak. So it may later on get another test of $300. And then some people were able to capitalize on CCIV this morning. I played it a bit too early. Like right when the market opened, I was trying to trade it. I had the right idea. My timing and execution was just totally off on this. So CCIV, if you scroll out on it, it's a horrible example. We'll bring over Street Smart Edge. So if you scroll out on CCIV, you could just tell all day that this thing was just topping out here at 25. All right there. Pay attention to the details, guys. Topped out at 25, topped out, topped out, topped out, topped out, topped out, topped out, topped out. Finally got over. Look at that. Held it real quickly right there. Was holding the general area right there. Got a nice gap up and run the next day. Paying attention to the big picture. So this morning, I was looking for it to hold up above and test $26. It was just gearing up for it. You could really tell it was. So I was paying attention to this right here, that trend line. And then as soon as it perked and popped over and was holding that $26 right there, I call it, the word I'm trying to say here? When you get zeroed in on one specific time frame, that's a bad, you don't want to do that. That's what I did. I got zeroed in on the 1 minute time frame and wasn't paying attention to the big picture. I entered thinking that 26 was going to hold, and we're going to get a nice run up to 27. I had the right idea, it's just my timing was off. Came all the way down to 25.50, bottomed out, came all the way back up, held, and off it went. See how it even came back and it was holding support right there? And it continued pushing all the way up, $27. So it just goes to show you guys, even myself, I'm wrong at times. You just have to admit when you're wrong. Nobody's perfect. Admit when you're wrong and move on. And that's what I did. I admitted I was wrong. I cut my losses as minimal as possible and moved on to something else. So good move today on CCIV. I know a few people in chat were able to capitalize on it. What else did we have? EYES. Made just almost $1,000 on this. This was the rubber band play, straight up. This was the #1 stock a few days ago. 5 days, 3 minutes. See how it had that big move? And then just by keeping an eye on it the following days, when it's on the back side, you could play it for good bounce opportunities. Yesterday, we were talking about this in chat. A few people were able to capitalize on EYES yesterday. It took a while for it to form, but it had its morning sell-off, and then it started to, what I call, rounding bottom. See how it starts to round out like that? From $11 was the area. That was the trigger level. So we were loading up on it just below $11. I said this will run up to $11.50, $12, then $13. My exact words. Sure enough, slowly but surely, pushed up to $11.50, pulled back. 11 was holding as support right here. Pushed up to 12, where that VWAP is. Pushed up over VWAP to $12.50, and then got that surge up to almost $13. A nice $2 push right there from 2 o'clock to 2:30. Half an hour. Beautiful play on EYES at the end of the day. And then this morning, I mean, look at that setup. Opened up, bottomed out right here around that mental $10. Slap a trend line on it like that. You see how it formed that wedge? Broke out from it, pushed up over VWAP up to 11, pulled back. VWAP was then holding as support, pushed back up to the high, up over to almost $12. And you see how it pulled back And then this resistance, then support. That's showing you bullish strength right there. You know volume's interested in the stock. Look at all this volume coming into it. So that supply-demand factor is there for sure. From 11, pushed up to the high, got the micro pullback. Boom. Pushes up to almost 13 bucks again. And then everybody's chasing after it, trying to enter in right here when volume's maxed out on its third stage. And when I say that, you see how it stair steps up like that? Got your first stage, second stage, third stage. The magic number in the stock market is 3. Remember that. Just how I'm breaking these charts down and how I'm educating you guys and talking about this stuff, I think I know what I'm talking about, right? All right, sign up for the masterclass and the Discord chat. Shouldn't be alone out here. Every single day we're out here spitting education and growing as a community and as traders. Ask any of the members. We're out here getting that money every single day. Every day. So great play on EYES. And then the last one we'll talk about ENTX. Great wedge breakout to the upside on this morning. You can see I was drawing it out on my chart. So this is a 3-minute time frame from 450 all the way up to almost 8 bucks. I was debating whether or not this was going to take off and run. That's why I have 75,000 shares. I didn't buy 75,000 shares. I kept buying and selling because I was contemplating whether this was going to take off or not. So when I seen it set up, I committed to it. I committed and I was able to lock in almost 8K on it. My P&L was going back and forth for a moment. Down 1K, up 1K, down 2K, up 2K, back and forth, back and forth. Then I realized, hey, this is forming a wedge. Wait for it. Broke out from the wedge here. $5 was the trigger. Right there. 5,550. After it broke out from that, all this massive volume just came flooding into it. 330 million in volume on the day. These charts just look better on Street Smart Edge. Let's zoom in on that. So right here, pre-market, it pushed up, slap a trend line on that bad boy, connecting all the lower highs. See, right when that market opened, this right here, it geared up right at 450, pushed up, held VWAP, and old resistance right there. Pushed up to $6. Failed to break 6. Came back down. And all you had to do was slap a trend line on it. Right there. Connecting all of the lower highs or higher lows. The trigger level was 550. Right there. So it starts forming this wedge right here. Getting really, really tight. And as soon as it broke out, all this volume here, pumping into it, and then blast off. They finally lift it. I didn't even trade it above $6. I'm not gonna, this right here was looking sketchy. I thought they were holding it back, and then they were gonna slam it down. I took my eyes off of it and looked away. And then I looked back at it and it was up over $7.25. And I'm like, wow, they finally lifted it. And when they lift these stocks, they're gone. Supply and demand. All it comes down to. So this morning we were talking about 50% bounces. If you was in the chat this morning, this should ring a bell. So a few people had eyes on SLGG, and this is going to be a good lesson. So let's bring over SLGG. All right, let's break down this chart here, okay? So SLGG from $6 pretty much this morning had a nice explosion all the way up to almost $8.50. It's a $2.50 push from the bottom to the top pretty much. This morning had a nice little tight wedge right there. Broke up from that wedge, got all that momentum, and just look at all that volume just pour into it. It's a massive amount of volume. Float on SLG. I know it's low. Smart Edge says 18 million. Volume on the day, 36 million. Could have swore it was lower than that. That can't be right. Let's see. See, on Street Finviz, it says it's 14 million. Trade Idea said it was like 4 million, 8 million, I believe. So we had this huge run up right here. And then it just completely fell apart and came all the way back down to the area where it started at this morning, right here. Now, this is the important part right here. Measuring this move down here up to the high. Stock falls all the way back down. I always refer to these stocks and the way they move. You want to kind of look at them like basketballs. All the stocks, they're going to bounce like basketballs up and down. And you're going to see this a lot with stocks and charts. A lot of times you're going to see a stock run up and then it's going to fall down and then it's going to bounce around 50% of the total move. And what do I mean by that? From the low right here, all the way up to the high, all the way down here, stock bounced right here around, that's about 50% total of this whole move right here. I mean, am I wrong for thinking that? Or am I right? The bounce right here is 50% of this total move from the bottom to the top. See how it was just grinding up like that? That's about 50% of this move right here. That's all this move is a bounce. You're going to see this a lot with stocks. Look at GameStop yesterday. GameStop was a scary one. We'll zoom in on this right here. So if you measure from the top up here all the way to the bottom, right there, about 50% of this is where? About right here. So from the top to the bottom, see how much that stock bounced up? Around 50% of this total move right here. So that's what I was referring to in the chat. Pull it over. Shared a couple pictures of it. So right here, you got PHUN. From the move right here, all the way up, that retracement, stock bounces. It's about 50% of that move right here. So a 50% bounce. Then you got another example with SLGG. From the bottom to the top, the retracement, stock bounces up around 50% of this total move right here. Right? You have to think and look at technical analysis as it's an art form. This isn't going to be technical, precise, perfect all the time. It's all about how you look at these charts and interpret them. That's where you make the money. Even if we pull up and look at KOKD real quick. All right, so we got KOKD up from here at 930, pushes up to 990, pulls back, pushes back up, and you see how it consolidated right here. Where's that about before it made its big push up even higher? That's at about 50% of where this move is right here. Get what I'm saying? And then explodes up from 965 all the way up to 10 bucks. All that volume pushed right into it right there. So there's tips and tricks right there for you. Every single day, every week, every weekend, I'm going through charts, taking snapshots of them. Like this. I took a snapshot of this. I took a snapshot of this. I get my little Epic pen right here, and I draw the lines out, make any notes that I need to, and I save the chart. I learn from these charts to prepare for the future for when it happens again, because it will happen again. Why? Because human nature never changes. Well, we got algorithmic computers that are taking over the stock market. All these computers and supercomputers are trading. Yeah, but who developed those programs and those computers? Humans did. Human beings. All right, so you guys have any questions from today? That was a pretty good recap. Again, telling you guys, join up, join the community. We're out here every single day in the stock market. If you show up every day to chat, you are going to learn something new. You're going to get that experience under your belt. You're going to be surrounded with like-minded people, all wanting the same goal. We're here to make money. We're here to reduce our risk. And you have multiple eyes in the markets. We have people in here calling out PDSB, EYES, CCIV, ENTX. R. Thorne said, watch it. ENTX. It had a great bounce. SLGG. Sharing charts. You guys are in here every single day with me. So I'm going to share with you guys my education that I've gathered from my experience over the past 5 years. CCIV, break down an example. All that massive volume showing up leads to a lot of indecision at the top. It's just like the saying, if you hear it on the news and you hear everybody talking about it, it's too late. And look what happened. From 40 all the way down to pretty much 20 bucks. Showing my chart on KOSS. What am I thinking currently? Well, it broke out from the wedge. Look for the wedge to hold as support. Have your risk below 27.50. Sell at 28. You guys killed it today on CCIV. This morning, held 25.50. Great $2 push pretty much. $1.50 push to 27. Then PDSB, that was a good call as well. That from 450s all the way up, $7. Yeah, even timber, a pharmaceutical, had a good move today. Right from that VWAP. 275, pushing 325 now. I normally don't trade lower priced stocks like this because you really need to load up to make good bank. It's moving like 25 cents at a time. Look at that 3-minute though. I mean, even the 10-minute. Like, look at that 10-minute. That's beautiful right here. Pay attention to the details. I say it all the time. Formed a nice wedge right there. And look at all those wicks. You know what all these wicks are telling me? Those wicks are telling me there's a buyer down there. There's somebody propping up the stock and holding it up. The stock market revolves around supply and demand. If the demand is there for a stock, prices will go up. It's basic supply and demand economics. People just overcomplicate it by throwing on MACD, RSI, stochastics, Kettler channels. It's like you don't need to do all that. Pay attention to price action, volume, areas of interest, and you'll be all right. If you overlay it, if you keep overlaying it with all these indicators, you're going to overlook the big picture. You're going to look past what's screaming in your face. Just seeing how simply I broke this down. Now look at prices are up from 280. It's pushing 330s now. Got your volume retraced. Now you get that volume explosion. And just like the rule of 3, see how it did it in stages? 1, 2, 3. volume's moving up as prices keep pushing up higher. You're going to see a lot of volume as prices keep pushing up higher, because I refer to people in the stock market as seagulls. They're all screaming, mine, 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 mine. When you throw garbage and trash out on the beach and all the seagulls flock to it, it's the same concept in the stock market. Right here. If you remember from the Disney movie, they're all mine, 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 mine. So as stocks push up higher, people get that FOMO, fear of missing out. They all chase after it because they say, wow, look at it, how much money I just could have made. It's going to keep going. It has to keep going. So I'm going to jump in. And then that's what the next guy thinks. And the next guy. And the next guy. Mine, 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 mine. Oh no, it's crashing. Then they get the meek. Ah! It's falling. LG. That is a doornail. I think we looked up LGVN before the market even opened. They had a lot of active registrations and shelves. That's why the stock decayed like that. I think they had like 600 million in active registrations. I can't remember. But just a straight decay down. It may have a bounce on it. It's not going to really be much. Maybe $9. But things ain't looking good. That was the play this morning. We called it out pre-market. It had all the ingredients pre-market for a nice pop on it. From here at 920s, that's when we alerted it pre-market. But I don't trade pre-market. I just don't. Pushed up to over 10, all-time new highs. Then it was holding this 1050. Market opened, rocketed up to 1250. Yeah, it's done for. You see how it's starting to have a death candle now, down to $8. Majority of these companies in the stock market, guys, they're garbage dog water companies. They're companies that are just starting out or they're on their way out the door. So what does that tell you? They're desperate for money. Anytime they get a perk in the price, they're going to take that money and try to reinvest it back into the company to grow more and more. That's why you see a lot of these stocks. They'll have epic big runs, and then they'll just slowly decay for days at a time. EYES. GLSI. What's another one? SNDL, that may get a run to 2. What was that one yesterday everybody was talking about? XELA. Done for. May get a bounce on it, but from pretty much $2 all the way up to 750. Now look at that big sell-off, and it's just trickling down. Now it's at 350s. That INVO, I'm not giving up on it. I still have my position on it. Think it'll get a good pop up to 650, like I said. I'm going to keep my position on. not much, only 3,000 shares. Total for the day, I'm up almost 10K. This is just going to be a little bonus if it works out. We'll see what else pops up here within the last hour of the trading day. I'm not much of a power hour trader. I like to lock in my profits and call it a day. But we could see a nice run here on EYES. CCIV has been playing around at that 27 bucks. XCLA, it needs more time. CCIV could blow up over 27. Get a nice run to $28, $30. I like CCIV the best. Been holding up really good. It's even got a squeeze going on that daily chart. That 50 EMA is moving up to the 13 EMA. That 13 EMA is at 28.31. So it's got the potential. Sure. See clearly it was peaking out. It finally got up above it. So the sentiment for this stock is bullish as of right now. One more day left in the week, guys. Tomorrow's Friday. Yeah, I'm going to keep an eye on the CCIV for that push up over 27. Got an hour left before the close. Anything could happen. Always keep an open mind. Anything can happen. I don't even have my stock scanners up. I wish you could do a poll. Like how many people think CCIV is going to blow over 25? How many people think it's going to top out at 25? I don't know. This thing, the history's showing me that it loves to test resistance, but can't break through. Someone said CPSH. It's a low volume play. Been pushing up the past hour. That was a good score if you got in around this area right here. I can't trade those low volume type stocks. Even MP, that one looks like a good one. I could see that one pushing up 45. Those were two good call outs. TDSB straight nose diving now. I don't know if CCIV will go today. That's a good 70-cent run right there. The risk versus reward is there for sure. $26.50, $26.75. I'm not in on it or anything. I'm just watching. See what pops up here on the momentum scanner as we go into the end of the day. What are the guys in chat watching? Oh wow, this thing went supernova today. Under the radar. Wow. FINV. From 6 all the way up to 1050. It failed to continue over 1050. That all-time new highs. Testing it. Wow. I'm looking around, guys. That's why I'm being silent. I'm trying to see if there's any good opportunities out here. Still keeping an eye on that CCIV for any type of explosion up over that 27. I'm going to keep FINV up on another chart as well. I might cut that INVO. FINV. That one could turn around at any moment. A bigger float on New York Stock Exchange. Slap a couple trend lines on it. Might have a good bounce opportunity. All right, cancel these. Cancel my order here on INVO. Uh, FINV. I think that one could have a nice rip back up to 10. Volume's retracing on it. I've seen this setup before. I'm going to put FINV on high watch. This is on parabolic watch. Announce to the chat. Needs to hold 9. I don't have a position or anything on it. I'm just watching. But this could easily flip around, rip back up to 10, break over 1050 and start shooting up towards 15. I mean, just look at all of the fake outs on it all day. You got one right there, trapping shorts. One right there, trapping shorts. They're trapping again right there, but it failed. And it U-shaped around right there and failed. That could be giving shorts confident, thinking that this is the backside of the move. And then rip their faces off. And when I mean rip their faces off, guys, this is what I mean. These are shorts. Ah! They look down at their P&L and they poop their pants. They rip down to $9. And then from there, or it may do it right here, it'll at least rip back up to 10 over 10. See, just like that. That's what I'm talking about. Now you can start seeing it skip up to 10, break over 10, run up to 1050, 11, new high of day. If you commit to it, you have to commit to it. You can't get freaked out on the price action. Not yet. Gonna come down to 9. Still got 45 minutes, 35 minutes before the market closes. I think that this is the #1 watch. Oh, CCIV broke over 27. All right, guys, I think I'm going to head back over into the chat room and start focusing on this FINV. I have it on high watch. I think it could do something special. I'm going to focus in on it, get with the guys in chat. Be safe out there, guys. Half hour before the market closes. Power hour, CCIV lifting above 27.